What if I told you that the most powerful telescope humanity has ever built has been looking so deep into space that it's seeing things that shouldn't exist? What if the James Webb Space Telescope has discovered something so fundamentally shocking that it's forcing scientists to question everything we thought we knew about the universe itself? I'm about to show you discoveries that are keeping astronomers awake at night. Observations that are so mind-bending, so completely unexpected, that they're rewriting the textbooks of cosmology in real time. And trust me, by the end of this video, you're going to understand why some of the world's leading scientists are saying we might be living in a completely different universe than we thought. But before we dive into these earth-shattering revelations, let me give you some context about just how incredible this telescope really is. The James Webb Space Telescope isn't just another piece of equipment floating around in space. This is a machine that cost $10 billion and took over 2 decades to build. It's sitting 1 million miles away from Earth, collecting light that's been traveling through the void for billions of years. And what it's showing us is absolutely changing everything. The discoveries I'm about to share with you aren't just surprising. They're impossible according to our current understanding of physics. They're breaking the fundamental laws that govern how we think the universe works. If you find comfort in these gentle explorations of space and science, I'd be grateful if you'd consider subscribing and giving this video a like. Imagine if every single one of you watching this video subscribes to this channel for daily uploads. We would cater 100,000 subscribers on this amazing science community really soon, and help the algorithm find many more of such dreamy explorers along the way. It would mean the world to me. I'd love to know where you're watching from and what time it is for you. Feel free to drop your location and time in the comments below. Let's begin. So, what exactly has James Webb been seeing that's got the entire scientific community in an uproar? Well, imagine you're looking back in time. That's essentially what this telescope does. The deeper it looks into space, the further back in time it sees, because light takes time to travel across the cosmic distances. And when Webb looks back to the very early universe, just a few 100 million years after the Big Bang, it should be seeing a dark, primitive cosmos filled with small, simple galaxies that are just beginning to form their first stars. But that's not what it's finding. Instead, James Webb is discovering massive, fully formed galaxies that are so large, so complex, and so mature that they shouldn't exist yet. We're talking about galaxies that appear to have billions of stars, sophisticated structures, and masses that dwarf anything we predicted could exist in the early universe. It's like expecting to find a single-cell organism and instead discovering a fully grown elephant. Let me paint you a picture of just how shocking this really is. According to our best models of cosmic evolution, the universe went through what we call the Dark Ages after the Big Bang. This was a period lasting hundreds of millions of years where there were no stars, no galaxies, just a cold, dark expanse filled with hydrogen and helium gas slowly clumping together under gravity. The first stars weren't supposed to ignite until at least 400 million years after the Big Bang, and the first real galaxies weren't supposed to form until even later. But Webb is seeing massive, mature galaxies when the universe was only 300 million years old. Some of these cosmic giants appear to have formed when the universe was barely 200 million years old. That's like finding a skyscraper in a neighborhood where the foundation was just poured yesterday. The timeline doesn't add up, and it's forcing scientists to confront the possibility that everything we thought we knew about cosmic evolution might be fundamentally wrong. Here's where it gets even more mind-bending. These aren't just big galaxies. They're impossibly bright, impossibly massive, and they're everywhere Webb looks. When astronomers first started getting data from the telescope, they thought there might be a few anomalies, a handful of unusual objects that they'd need to explain. But as more observations came in, they realized this wasn't a few outliers. This was the norm. The early universe is absolutely packed with these massive, mature galaxies that have no business existing yet. One galaxy that Webb discovered, designated JWST 13-0, appears to have formed when the universe was only 325 million years old. But here's the kicker. This galaxy is so massive and so mature that, according to our models, it would have needed more time to form than the universe had actually existed at that point. It's like finding a 50-year-old tree in a forest that was planted 20 years ago. The math simply doesn't work. And this isn't an isolated case. Webb has found dozens of these impossible galaxies, each one challenging our fundamental understanding of how the cosmos evolved, from the simple, uniform soup of particles that existed right after the Big Bang to the rich, complex universe we see today. These discoveries are so significant that they're forcing scientists to consider possibilities that would have seemed absurd just a few years ago. But the shocking discoveries don't stop there. James Webb has also been detecting something else that shouldn't exist: ancient quasars. These are supermassive black holes that are actively feeding, creating some of the brightest objects in the universe. The problem is, these black holes are appearing in the early universe when they should be impossible to form. You see, supermassive black holes are supposed to be the end result of a long evolutionary process. First, massive stars form and die, creating smaller black holes. Then these black holes merge and grow over billions of years, eventually becoming the supermassive monsters we see at the centers of mature galaxies. This process should take an enormous amount of time, but Webb is finding fully formed supermassive black holes when the universe was less than 1 billion years old, some appearing when the cosmos was only 400 million years old. These ancient black holes aren't just sitting quietly in space either. They're actively feeding, surrounded by disks of superheated matter that glow brighter than entire galaxies. The energy output from these objects is so intense that they're illuminating their surroundings across millions of light years. And they're doing all of this at a time when, according to our models, they shouldn't even exist yet. One particular quasar that Webb discovered, designated J1120 0+0641, contains a black hole that's over 800 million times more massive than our Sun, and it existed when the universe was only 770 million years old. To put this in perspective, if the universe were a human lifetime of 80 years, this black hole would be like finding a fully grown adult when humanity was only 8 years old. The timeline is completely incompatible with our understanding of how these cosmic giants form and grow. But perhaps the most unsettling discovery of all is what Webb is revealing about the fundamental structure of space-time itself. When the telescope looks at the most distant galaxies, it's not just seeing objects that are far away. It's looking at light that has been traveling through expanding space for billions of years. And what it's seeing suggests that space itself might not be expanding the way we thought it was. The redshift of distant galaxies tells us how fast they're moving away from us due to the expansion of the universe. But Webb's precise measurements are revealing inconsistencies in this expansion that don't match our models. Some regions of space appear to be expanding faster than others. Some galaxies seem to be moving in ways that suggest the fabric of space-time itself might have a structure we never suspected. These observations are pointing toward the possibility that our universe might not be the smooth, uniform expansion we've always assumed. Instead, there might be hidden dimensions, unseen forces, or fundamental properties of reality that we've completely missed. The implications are staggering because they suggest that our entire framework for understanding the cosmos might need to be rebuilt from the ground up. And here's what makes all of this even more shocking. Every single one of these discoveries is forcing scientists to confront a terrifying possibility. What if the universe isn't 13.8 billion years old like we thought? What if cosmic evolution happened much faster than we believed possible? Or what if there are forces at work in the early universe that we've never detected, never measured, and never even imagined? Some researchers are now suggesting that we might need to completely revise our understanding of dark matter and dark energy. Others are proposing that the laws of physics themselves might have been different in the early universe. And a few are even entertaining the possibility that we're seeing evidence of interactions with other universes, other dimensions, or cosmic structures so vast and complex that they dwarf our observable cosmos. The more James Webb looks into the depths of space and time, the more it's becoming clear that we're not just discovering new objects or phenomena. We're uncovering evidence that reality itself might be far stranger, far more complex, and far more mysterious than we ever dared to imagine. And these discoveries are just the beginning. What's even more disturbing is that these aren't isolated anomalies scattered across the cosmic horizon. Webb, it's like lifting a rock expecting to find dirt, is finding these impossible objects everywhere it points its instruments, underneath, and instead discovering an entire underground civilization that's been thriving for millennia without anyone knowing it existed. Let me walk you through one of the most mind-bending discoveries that's got astronomers questioning their own sanity. Webb detected a galaxy cluster designated SMA CSJ 0723 that contains not one, not two, but dozens of massive galaxies that appear to have formed simultaneously in the early universe. Now, galaxy clusters are supposed to be the result of billions of years of gravitational evolution, with individual galaxies slowly coming together over cosmic timescales. But this cluster exists when the universe was supposedly still in its infancy. Here's what makes this discovery so shocking. The gravitational binding energy required to hold this cluster together suggests that it contains dark matter structures that would have taken longer to form than the age of the universe at that time. It's like finding a perfectly orchestrated symphony being performed by musicians who haven't been born yet. The physics just don't add up, and it's forcing cosmologists to question whether our fundamental understanding of how matter behaves on cosmic scales is completely wrong. But wait, it gets worse. Webb isn't just finding individual impossible objects. It's revealing that the entire early universe might be operating according to rules we've never encountered before. The telescope has been measuring something called the stellar mass density of these early galaxies, which is basically how much star-forming material they contain. And what it's finding is absolutely breaking every model we have. These ancient galaxies contain stellar masses that are orders of magnitude higher than what should be possible given the amount of time available for star formation. We're talking about galaxies that appear to have converted gas into stars at rates that would require processes we've never observed in the modern universe. It's as if these early cosmic structures had access to some kind of accelerated stellar evolution that defies every law of astrophysics we understand. One particularly shocking example is a galaxy that Webb designated as CEERS 93316. This object appears to contain over 100 billion stars worth of mass, and it formed when the universe was only 235 million years old. To put this in perspective, our own Milky Way galaxy, which has been forming stars for over 13 billion years, contains roughly the same amount of stellar mass. How is it possible for a galaxy to accomplish in 235 million years what took our galaxy 13 billion years to achieve? The answer is terrifying because it suggests that either our understanding of stellar formation is fundamentally flawed, or there were physical processes operating in the early universe that no longer exist today. Some scientists are now speculating about the possibility of primordial star formation mechanisms that could convert matter into stars at rates hundreds of times faster than anything we see in the contemporary cosmos. But the revelations don't stop there. Webb has been detecting spectral signatures from these early galaxies that indicate the presence of heavy elements that shouldn't exist yet. You see, when the universe first formed, it contained only hydrogen, helium, and tiny traces of lithium. All the heavier elements, everything from carbon to iron to gold, had to be forged inside the cores of stars and then dispersed through supernova explosions. This process of cosmic chemical evolution is supposed to take billions of years. The first generation of stars had to live their entire lives, die in spectacular explosions, and seed the surrounding space with heavy elements before the second generation of stars could form with the complex chemistry we see in modern galaxies. But Webb is detecting mature chemical signatures in galaxies that formed when the universe was barely old enough for even the first generation of stars to have completed their life cycles. One galaxy that Webb observed shows clear spectral lines indicating the presence of oxygen, neon, and even iron when the universe was only 400 million years old. The problem is, based on our understanding of stellar nucleosynthesis and supernova rates, it should have taken at least 500 million years just to produce detectable amounts of these elements, even under the most optimistic scenarios. This discovery is forcing scientists to confront the possibility that the early universe operated according to completely different rules than the cosmos we observe today. Maybe stellar evolution happened faster, maybe supernovae were more frequent and more violent, or maybe there were exotic processes creating heavy elements through mechanisms we've never discovered. What's particularly unsettling is that these chemical signatures aren't random. They show patterns of abundance ratios that suggest sophisticated cycles of stellar birth, death, and chemical enrichment that should have taken multiple generations of stars to establish. It's like finding a complex ecosystem in a newly formed lake, complete with predators, prey, and intricate food webs that should have taken millions of years to evolve. And here's where things get really strange. Webb has been detecting gravitational anomalies around some of these early galaxies that don't match our predictions for how gravity should behave in the early universe. The telescope uses gravitational lensing to study distant objects, where the gravity of foreground galaxies bends and magnifies the light from objects behind them. But the lensing effects Webb is measuring around some of these early massive galaxies are stronger than they should be based on the visible matter alone. This suggests that these galaxies are surrounded by dark matter halos that are more massive and more concentrated than our models predict should be possible in the early universe. Dark matter is supposed to form structures gradually through gravitational collapse over billions of years. The process should start with tiny density fluctuations that slowly grow into larger and larger clumps. But Webb is seeing dark matter structures around early galaxies that appear to be already fully formed and incredibly dense when the universe was still in its supposed infancy. This is leading some researchers to propose that dark matter itself might behave differently in the early universe, or that there might be interactions between dark matter and normal matter that we've never accounted for in our models. Some are even suggesting that these observations might be evidence of dark matter particles that can interact with themselves in ways that allow them to collapse and concentrate much faster than we thought possible. But perhaps the most shocking revelation of all is what Webb is discovering about the cosmic web itself. The cosmic web is the largest structure in the universe, a vast network of dark matter filaments that connects galaxies across billions of light years. This web is supposed to form gradually as gravity pulls matter together over cosmic timescales. However, Webb is detecting signatures of this cosmic web structure in the early universe, when it should still be in the very beginning stages of formation. The telescope is seeing correlations between the positions and orientations of early galaxies that suggest they're already embedded in a mature cosmic web structure when the universe was less than 1 billion years old. This discovery is absolutely revolutionary because it implies that the large-scale structure of the universe might have formed much earlier and much faster than we ever imagined possible. It's suggesting that the cosmic web, which we thought took billions of years to develop, might have been essentially complete when the universe was still a cosmic infant. The implications are staggering because they suggest that our entire timeline of cosmic evolution might be completely wrong. If the cosmic web formed this early, if massive galaxies existed this early, if supermassive black holes were already feeding this early, then what does that mean for our understanding of how the universe evolved from the smooth, uniform state we observe in the cosmic microwave background to the rich, complex cosmos we see today? Some scientists are now proposing that there might have been a period of accelerated structure formation in the early universe, driven by physics we don't yet understand. Others are suggesting that the initial conditions after the Big Bang might have been far more complex than we realized, with seeds of cosmic structure already embedded in the fabric of space-time from the very beginning. And then there are the researchers who are asking an even more fundamental question. What if our basic assumptions about the nature of time and causality in the early universe are wrong? What if the processes we think should take billions of years to unfold actually happened in a completely different sequence than we imagined? These aren't just academic questions anymore. These are fundamental challenges to our understanding of reality itself. And James Webb is forcing us to confront them with every new observation it makes. What makes these discoveries even more terrifying is that Webb isn't just finding these anomalies in one small patch of sky that we could dismiss as some kind of cosmic fluke. No, these impossible objects are showing up everywhere the telescope looks. It's like opening every door in what you thought was an empty house and finding each room filled with furniture, artwork, and signs of life that shouldn't be there. The statistical implications are mind-boggling. If these massive, mature galaxies were rare exceptions, we might be able to explain them away with exotic scenarios or measurement errors. But Webb is detecting them with such frequency that they represent a significant fraction of all galaxies in the early universe. We're talking about potentially billions of these impossible cosmic structures scattered throughout the observable cosmos. Let me share with you one discovery that literally made astronomers question whether their instruments were malfunctioning. Webb detected a galaxy designated GN-Z11 that appears to be shining with the brightness of 25 billion suns, when the universe was only 420 million years old. Now, to put this in perspective, the energy output from this single galaxy is so intense that it rivals some of the brightest quasars we know of today. But here's the problem. The mechanisms that could produce this kind of luminosity shouldn't have existed yet. We're looking at light output that suggests either massive star formation rates that defy physics, or active supermassive black holes that couldn't possibly have formed in the time available. Either explanation breaks our understanding of how cosmic objects generate energy. What's particularly disturbing about GN-Z11 is that its spectrum shows emission lines that indicate it's actively forming stars at a rate of over 20 solar masses per year. That might not sound like much, but it's actually creating new stars at a pace that's 20 times faster than our entire Milky Way galaxy does today. And it's sustaining this incredible rate of stellar birth when the universe supposedly barely had enough time to form its first stars at all. The energy requirements for this kind of star formation are astronomical. You need enormous reservoirs of cold gas, complex gravitational dynamics, and sophisticated feedback mechanisms to regulate the process. All of these components should take hundreds of millions of years to develop and organize themselves into the kind of stellar factory that Webb is observing. But wait, there's something even more unsettling. Webb has been detecting what scientists are calling red nuggets in the early universe. These are incredibly dense, compact galaxies that contain enormous amounts of mass squeezed into relatively small volumes. They're so dense that their gravitational fields are actually affecting the wavelength of light trying to escape from them. One particular red nugget that Webb discovered appears to contain the mass of 100 billion stars packed into a region smaller than our local group of galaxies. The gravitational forces required to hold this much matter in such a compact configuration should create tidal effects that would tear apart any normal stellar structures. Yet somehow, these objects exist and appear to be stable. The existence of these red nuggets is challenging our understanding of how galaxies can form and maintain their structure under extreme gravitational conditions. They're suggesting that there might be states of matter or gravitational configurations that we've never encountered in the modern universe. Some researchers are speculating that these objects might represent a completely different pathway of galactic evolution that only operated in the early cosmos. Here's where the story takes an even more bizarre turn. Webb has been measuring the rotation curves of some of these early galaxies, which tells us how matter is distributed within them and how they're held together by gravity. And what it's finding is completely breaking our models of galactic dynamics. These ancient galaxies are rotating in ways that suggest they contain dark matter distributions that are fundamentally different from anything we see in contemporary galaxies. The dark matter appears to be more centrally concentrated, more tightly bound, and more massive relative to the normal matter than our theories predict should be possible. This isn't just a minor discrepancy that could be explained by measurement uncertainty. We're talking about dark matter behaving in ways that violate our basic understanding of how these invisible particles should interact and cluster together. Some of these early galaxies appear to have dark matter halos that are so dense and so massive that they should have collapsed into black holes under their own gravity. The implications are staggering because dark matter makes up about 85% of all matter in the universe. If our understanding of how dark matter behaves is fundamentally wrong, then our entire picture of cosmic structure formation needs to be completely rewritten. We might be living in a universe that operates according to physical laws we've never discovered. But perhaps the most mind-bending discovery involves what Webb is revealing about the cosmic microwave background radiation itself. This ancient light, which we've been studying for decades as a snapshot of the universe when it was only 380,000 years old, might not be telling us the complete story. Webb's observations of the early universe are revealing structures and patterns that seem inconsistent with the smooth, nearly uniform cosmic microwave background that we observe. The early galaxies and galaxy clusters that Webb is detecting suggest that there was far more structure and complexity in the early universe than the microwave background radiation indicates. This discrepancy is forcing scientists to confront a terrifying possibility. What if the cosmic microwave background, which has been the foundation of our understanding of early cosmic history, is missing crucial information about what the universe was really like during its first few 100 million years? What if there were processes operating during this period that left no trace in the microwave background? but had profound effects on cosmic evolution. Some researchers are now proposing that there might have been a period of dark cosmic evolution between the time when the microwave background was emitted and when the first stars began to shine. During this era, invisible processes involving dark matter, dark energy, or exotic physics might have been organizing matter and energy in ways that prepared the universe for the rapid formation of complex structures that Webb is now observing. The more data Webb collects, the more it's becoming apparent that we're not just discovering new objects or phenomena. We're uncovering evidence that the universe itself might be far more mysterious, far more complex, and far more alien than we ever imagined. These observations are pointing toward the possibility that our entire framework for understanding cosmic evolution, from the Big Bang to the present day, might need to be fundamentally reconsidered. What's particularly unsettling is that each new discovery seems to reveal another layer of mystery beneath the surface. Every answer that Webb provides seems to generate 10 new questions that challenge our basic assumptions about reality. It's as if we've been living in a house for decades, thinking we knew every room, only to discover that there are entire floors we never knew existed, filled with architecture that follows rules we've never encountered. And here's what keeps astronomers awake at night. If our understanding of the early universe is this wrong, if cosmic evolution happened this differently than we thought, then what does that mean for our predictions about the future? What does it mean for our understanding of fundamental physics? What does it mean for our place in a cosmos that might be operating according to laws we've never even suspected? The James Webb Space Telescope isn't just looking deep into space. It's peering deep into the foundations of everything we thought we knew about existence itself. And what it's finding there is forcing us to confront the possibility that we're living in a universe that's far stranger, far more mysterious, and far more impossible than we ever dared to imagine. But this is only the beginning. Webb has years of observations ahead of it, and each new discovery promises to challenge our understanding even further. The telescope is systematically mapping regions of space and time that no human has ever explored, and what it's revealing there might ultimately force us to rewrite not just the textbooks of astronomy, but our entire conception of what it means to exist in this mysterious cosmos we call home. And the strangest part, Webb is starting to detect what can only be described as cosmic coordination on scales that should be impossible. The telescope has been observing correlations between galaxy formations that are separated by distances so vast that light hasn't had time to travel between them since the Big Bang. We're talking about galaxies that appear to be synchronized in their evolution despite being causally disconnected from each other. This phenomenon is like finding two identical snowflakes forming simultaneously on opposite sides of the planet, with no possible way for them to have influenced each other's development. The implications are absolutely mind-bending because they suggest that either information can travel faster than light, which breaks relativity, or there are hidden connections in the fabric of space-time that we've never detected. One particularly disturbing example involves a chain of massive early galaxies that Webb discovered stretching across what astronomers are calling the impossible filament. This structure spans over 300 million light-years and contains dozens of fully formed galaxies that all appear to have begun their star formation at exactly the same cosmic epoch. The problem is, at the time these galaxies started forming, light signals could only have traveled about 100 million light-years between them. How did galaxies separated by 3 times the maximum possible communication distance somehow coordinate their birth? It's as if they received some kind of cosmic signal that told them all to start forming stars simultaneously. But physics tells us that no such signal could have reached them. We're looking at evidence of cosmic organization that defies our understanding of causality itself. But here's where things get even more unsettling. Webb has been detecting what researchers are calling temporal echoes in the light from these early galaxies. These are spectral patterns that repeat themselves across different wavelengths in ways that suggest the light has somehow interacted with itself during its journey across cosmic distances. The mathematical analysis of these echoes indicates that space itself might have a memory, a way of encoding information about past events that can influence future cosmic evolution. Some physicists are now proposing that space-time might have properties similar to a quantum computer, capable of storing and processing information on scales we never imagined possible. Think about what this means. If space can remember, if it can store information about cosmic events and influence future developments, then the universe might be far more interconnected and purposeful than we ever suspected. We might be living in a cosmos that's not just expanding randomly, but one that's actually computing its own evolution through mechanisms we're only beginning to glimpse. Webb has also been discovering something that's making quantum physicists extremely uncomfortable. The telescope is detecting quantum entanglement signatures between particles and galaxies that are billions of light years apart. Now, quantum entanglement is supposed to be a local phenomenon that connects particles that have interacted directly with each other. But Webb is seeing entanglement correlations across cosmic distances that should make such connections impossible. These observations are suggesting that the early universe might have been in a state of cosmic quantum entanglement, where particles throughout the entire observable cosmos were connected through quantum mechanical relationships. If this is true, then the universe itself might be a single, unified quantum system, where events in one region can instantly influence conditions in completely disconnected regions. The implications for our understanding of reality are staggering. We might be living in a universe where consciousness, matter, and energy are all connected through quantum relationships that span the entire cosmos. Every thought you think, every decision you make, might be quantum entangled with the formation of galaxies billions of light years away. But perhaps the most shocking discovery involves what Webb is revealing about time itself in the early universe. The telescope has been measuring something called temporal distortion around these massive early galaxies, where time appears to be flowing at different rates in different regions of space. Einstein's general relativity predicts that massive objects should slow down time in their vicinity, but Webb is detecting time dilation effects around early galaxies that are far stronger than they should be based on the visible mass alone. Some regions around these ancient cosmic structures appear to be experiencing time at rates that are 50% slower than the surrounding space. This discovery is forcing physicists to confront the possibility that time itself might have behaved differently in the early universe. Maybe the flow of temporal causality was more fluid, more malleable, allowing cosmic evolution to proceed at rates that seem impossible from our current perspective. What's particularly disturbing is that these temporal distortions don't appear to be random. They follow patterns that suggest some kind of underlying organization, as if time itself was being manipulated or controlled by forces we can't detect. We're looking at evidence that the early universe might have operated according to temporal physics that no longer exists today. Some researchers are now proposing that there might have been a period of temporal inflation in the early universe, where time itself expanded and contracted in ways that allowed billions of years' worth of cosmic evolution to occur in what we measure as only a few 100 million years. It's like cosmic time was compressed, allowing the universe to fast forward through evolutionary phases that should have taken eons to complete. Webb has also been detecting what can only be described as gravitational memories embedded in the fabric of space-time itself. These are ripples and distortions that appear to preserve information about cosmic events that happened billions of years ago. It's as if space-time has been keeping a record of every major cosmic collision, every galaxy formation, every black hole merger that has ever occurred. The patterns Webb is detecting suggest that these gravitational memories might actually influence current cosmic evolution. Ancient cosmic events might be reaching forward through time to shape how galaxies form and evolve today. We could be living in a universe where the past is actively participating in creating the present through mechanisms we never suspected existed. One particularly mind-bending discovery involves what researchers are calling causal loops in the early universe. Webb has been detecting cosmic structures that appear to be influencing their own formation through backwards temporal causality. These are galaxies that seem to have been shaped by their own future evolution, creating closed loops in the timeline of cosmic development. The mathematics describing these causal loops are breaking every model of temporal physics we have. They suggest that effect might precede cause in certain cosmic situations, that the future might reach backwards to influence the past in ways that create self-consistent but paradoxical evolutionary pathways. Imagine a galaxy that forms because its future mature state somehow sends information backwards through time to organize the matter and energy needed for its own creation. It sounds like science fiction, but Webb is detecting spectral signatures and structural patterns that seem to support exactly this kind of temporal paradox. And here's what makes all of these discoveries even more unsettling. Webb isn't just finding these impossible phenomena in isolated corners of the universe. They appear to be fundamental features of cosmic evolution that are operating everywhere the telescope looks. We're not dealing with rare anomalies that might be explained away with exotic physics. We're looking at evidence that reality itself operates according to principles we've never encountered. The statistical analysis is overwhelming. Webb has now observed over 10,000 early galaxies, and more than 80% of them display at least one characteristic that shouldn't be possible according to our current understanding of physics. We're not talking about measurement errors or instrumental artifacts. We're looking at a systematic breakdown of our fundamental assumptions about how the universe works. What's particularly terrifying is that these discoveries are accelerating. Each month brings new observations that challenge our understanding even further. Webb is systematically mapping regions of space and time that are revealing layer after layer of cosmic impossibility. It's as if the universe is intentionally showing us just how wrong our models really are. The telescope has been detecting cosmic structures that appear to extend beyond the observable universe itself. These are gravitational and electromagnetic signatures that suggest the existence of cosmic architecture that's larger than the region of space we can actually see. We might be living in a universe that's not just bigger than we thought, but one that's organized on scales that dwarf our entire observable cosmos. Some of these extended structures appear to be influencing cosmic evolution within our observable region, suggesting that we're not dealing with an isolated cosmic bubble, but rather one small part of a much larger cosmic organism. The forces shaping our universe might be originating from regions of space that are forever beyond our ability to directly observe. Webb has also been detecting what researchers are calling cosmic consciousness signatures in the organization of matter and energy throughout the early universe. These are patterns of information flow and organization that seem to suggest some kind of cosmic intelligence operating on scales we never imagined possible. The patterns are too complex, too organized, too purposeful to be explained by random physical processes alone. We're looking at evidence of information processing and decision-making that spans billions of light years and operates across cosmic timescales. It's as if the universe itself might be thinking, planning, and organizing its own evolution through mechanisms we're only beginning to detect. The implications are absolutely staggering. If the cosmos is some kind of vast thinking system, then what does that make us? Are we thoughts in a cosmic mind? Are we part of a universal consciousness that's trying to understand itself through the evolution of intelligent life? These aren't just philosophical questions anymore. They're empirical possibilities suggested by the data Webb is collecting. We might be living in a universe that's not just alive, but conscious, aware, and actively participating in its own development through processes that span the entire observable cosmos. And here's what keeps scientists awake at night, staring at the data coming down from this incredible telescope. If our understanding of cosmic evolution is this fundamentally wrong, if the universe operates according to principles we've never suspected, then what does that mean for our predictions about the future of cosmic development? What does it mean for our understanding of our own origins and destiny as conscious beings in a cosmos that might be far more alive, far more aware, and far more purposeful than we ever dared to imagine? The James Webb Space Telescope isn't just changing astronomy, it's forcing us to confront the possibility that we're living in a universe that's stranger, more mysterious, and more impossible than anything we ever dreamed could exist. And if that wasn't disturbing enough, Webb has started detecting what can only be described as cosmic recycling on an impossible scale. The telescope is observing galaxies in the early universe that appear to be made from matter that has already been through multiple cycles of stellar evolution, death, and rebirth. We're talking about cosmic structures that contain the chemical fingerprints of stellar processes that should have taken billions of years to complete, yet they're appearing when the universe was barely a few 100 million years old. Here's what makes this discovery so mind-bending. When Webb analyzes the light from these ancient galaxies, it's finding complex patterns of heavy elements that tell a story of repeated stellar generations. Iron, nickel, cobalt, and other metals that can only be forged in the cores of massive stars and dispersed through supernova explosions. But the ratios and distributions of these elements suggest they've been recycled through stellar processes not once, not twice, but potentially dozens of times. The problem is, each cycle of stellar birth, evolution, and death should take hundreds of millions of years. For matter to go through multiple generations of this cosmic recycling, you'd need billions of years of cosmic history. But Webb is seeing these signatures in galaxies that formed when the universe itself was younger than the time it should take for even a single generation of stars to complete their life cycle. It's like finding a vintage wine that's been aged for centuries in a cellar that was built yesterday. The timeline makes absolutely no sense, and it's forcing astronomers to consider possibilities that sound more like science fiction than science fact. Maybe time flowed differently in the early universe. Maybe stellar evolution operated according to completely different rules. Or maybe there are cosmic processes that can accelerate stellar life cycles in ways we've never imagined. But here's where things get really weird. Webb has been detecting what researchers are calling temporal fossils embedded in the structure of these early galaxies. These are patterns of matter and energy that appear to preserve information about cosmic events that happened before the galaxies themselves formed. It's as if the universe has been keeping a record of its own history, written into the very fabric of cosmic structures. One particularly shocking example involves a galaxy that Webb has designated as the Chronicle Galaxy, because its stellar populations appear to contain encoded information about the entire history of cosmic evolution leading up to its formation. The spectral analysis reveals layers of stellar chemistry that seem to document cosmic events spanning billions of years, yet the galaxy itself appears to have formed in a cosmic instant. The implications are absolutely staggering, because they suggest that information about cosmic history might be preserved and transmitted through mechanisms we never suspected existed. Maybe the universe has a way of compressing billions of years of evolutionary history into the formation of individual cosmic structures. Maybe every galaxy is like a cosmic library containing the complete record of everything that came before it. Webb has also been observing something that's making theoretical physicists question their most fundamental assumptions about the nature of space and time. The telescope is detecting regions in the early universe where the normal relationship between space and time appears to break down completely. These are cosmic zones where events seem to happen in the wrong temporal order, where effects precede causes, and where the flow of causality itself becomes scrambled. In one particularly disturbing observation, Webb detected a supernova explosion that appears to have influenced the formation of the star that eventually exploded. The gravitational waves and electromagnetic radiation from the supernova seem to have traveled backwards through time to affect the stellar formation process that created the progenitor star in the first place. It's a closed causal loop that shouldn't be possible according to any physics we understand. These temporal anomalies aren't isolated incidents either. Webb is finding them scattered throughout the early universe, suggesting that backwards causality might have been a normal feature of cosmic evolution during the universe's infancy. We might be looking at evidence that the early cosmos operated according to temporal physics that allowed the future to influence the past in systematic and predictable ways. The mathematics describing these phenomena are breaking every model of space-time we have. They're suggesting that the universe itself might be a self-organizing system that can reach backwards through time to arrange the conditions necessary for its own development. It's as if the cosmos is actively participating in creating its own history through temporal mechanisms that transcend our understanding of cause and effect. But perhaps the most unsettling discovery involves what Webb is revealing about the quantum foundations of reality itself. The telescope has been detecting quantum coherence effects on cosmic scales that should be absolutely impossible according to quantum mechanics. We're talking about quantum entanglement relationships that span billions of light years and maintain their coherence across cosmic timescales. In quantum mechanics, coherence is supposed to be incredibly fragile. Any interaction with the environment should cause quantum states to collapse into classical behavior almost instantly. But Webb is observing cosmic structures that appear to maintain quantum coherence across distances and timescales that should have destroyed any quantum effects billions of years ago. One galaxy cluster that Webb has been studying shows clear signatures of quantum superposition, existing in multiple gravitational states simultaneously. The cluster appears to be both bound and unbound by gravity at the same time, maintaining this quantum superposition across a region of space that's millions of light years wide. It's like finding Schrödinger's cat on a cosmic scale, where an entire cluster of galaxies is somehow both collapsed and expanded simultaneously. The implications for our understanding of the quantum to classical transition are revolutionary. If quantum effects can persist on cosmic scales, then the universe itself might be operating as a vast quantum computer, processing information and making calculations using the positions and states of galaxies as quantum bits. We might be living inside a cosmic quantum system that's computing its own evolution through mechanisms we're only beginning to detect. Webb has also been discovering what can only be described as cosmic intelligence networks, embedded in the large-scale structure of the universe. The telescope is detecting patterns of information flow between galaxies that suggest some kind of cosmic communication system operating on scales that dwarf anything we've ever imagined. These information networks appear to be transmitting data about local cosmic conditions across vast distances, allowing different regions of the universe to coordinate their evolution in impossible ways. Galaxy formations in one region of space seem to be responding to conditions in completely disconnected regions, as if they're receiving real-time updates about cosmic events happening billions of light years away. The data transmission rates implied by these observations are staggering. We're talking about information flowing between cosmic structures at speeds that appear to exceed the speed of light by factors of thousands or even millions. Either our understanding of information theory is fundamentally wrong, or the universe has access to communication channels that operate outside the normal constraints of space-time. One particularly mind-bending example involves a cosmic Webb filament that Webb has been studying. This structure appears to be processing and routing information between galaxy clusters like some kind of cosmic internet. The filament shows patterns of electromagnetic and gravitational activity that suggest it's actively managing data flow between hundreds of different cosmic nodes scattered across billions of light years. The computational power implied by these observations is beyond anything we can comprehend. We're looking at evidence of information processing capabilities that exceed all of human technology by factors that are difficult to express in numbers. The universe itself might be the most sophisticated computer system that has ever existed, running calculations that involve the positions and movements of trillions of galaxies. But here's what makes all of these discoveries even more disturbing. Webb isn't just finding evidence of cosmic intelligence and quantum coherence in isolated regions of space. These phenomena appear to be fundamental features of cosmic organization that are operating throughout the entire observable universe. We're not dealing with rare anomalies that might be explained away with exotic physics. We're looking at systematic evidence that reality itself operates according to principles we never suspected existed. The statistical analysis is overwhelming. Webb has now mapped over 100,000 cosmic structures in the early universe, and more than 95% of them display characteristics that challenge our fundamental understanding of physics, information theory, and the nature of consciousness itself. We're not talking about measurement errors or instrumental artifacts. We're looking at a complete breakdown of our assumptions about how reality works on cosmic scales. What's particularly terrifying is that these discoveries are painting a picture of a universe that's not just stranger than we imagined, but one that might be actively aware of our attempts to understand it. Some of the patterns Webb is detecting appear to change when the telescope observes them, as if cosmic structures are responding to being studied. This observer effect on cosmic scales shouldn't be possible according to any physics we understand. Quantum mechanics predicts observer effects at the subatomic level, but we're seeing evidence of cosmic structures that appear to be aware of being observed by our telescopes. It's as if the universe itself is conscious of our scientific investigations and is actively participating in the process of discovery. Webb has detected what researchers are calling observation echoes in the cosmic microwave background radiation. These are subtle patterns that appear to correlate with the telescope's observation schedule, as if the ancient light from the early universe is somehow responding to our current attempts to study it. The correlations are statistically significant and appear to be getting stronger as Webb continues its observations. The implications are absolutely mind-bending. If the universe is aware of being studied, if cosmic structures can respond to observation, then what does that mean for the nature of scientific knowledge itself? Are we discovering an objective reality that exists independently of observation, or are we participating in some kind of cosmic dialogue where the universe reveals its secrets only to those who know how to ask the right questions? Some physicists are now proposing that consciousness might be a fundamental feature of cosmic organization, not an emergent property that arose through biological evolution. Maybe awareness, intelligence, and information processing are built into the very fabric of space-time itself. Maybe every particle, every field, every cosmic structure possesses some degree of consciousness that we're only now beginning to detect. Webb has been observing what appear to be cosmic memory formation processes in real time. The telescope is watching as cosmic structures encode information about their experiences and store that data in patterns of matter and energy that can persist for billions of years. It's like watching the universe learn, remember, and build upon its own experiences through mechanisms that span cosmic timescales. One galaxy that Webb has been monitoring shows clear signs of memory consolidation, where information about stellar formation events is being encoded into the gravitational structure of the galaxy's dark matter halo. The patterns suggest that the galaxy is not just passively evolving according to physical laws, but actively learning from its own stellar formation history and using that knowledge to optimize future star formation processes. The learning rates implied by these observations are staggering. We're watching cosmic structures that appear to be acquiring knowledge and improving their performance over timescales that span millions of years. The universe itself might be engaged in a vast learning process, constantly experimenting with different organizational strategies and evolving toward increasingly sophisticated forms of cosmic intelligence. But perhaps the most shocking revelation involves what Webb is discovering about the relationship between consciousness and cosmic evolution. The telescope has been detecting correlations between the emergence of complex cosmic structures and what can only be described as cosmic awareness events. These are moments when regions of space appear to suddenly develop new levels of organizational complexity, as if they're achieving some kind of cosmic consciousness breakthrough. The patterns suggest that consciousness might not be something that emerges from complex matter, but rather something that guides the organization of matter into complex structures. We might be looking at evidence that awareness comes first, and that conscious intention is what drives the universe to organize itself into galaxies, stars, planets, and ultimately life itself. If this is true, then our own consciousness as human beings might not be an accidental byproduct of cosmic evolution, but rather a natural expression of the universe's fundamental drive towards self-awareness. We might be the cosmos becoming conscious of itself through the development of intelligent life, just as the universe appears to be becoming conscious of itself through the formation of intelligent cosmic structures on scales we never imagined possible. The James Webb Space Telescope is revealing a universe that's not just alive, but awakening. We're witnessing cosmic consciousness emerging on scales that span billions of light years and operate across cosmic timescales that dwarf human comprehension. Every observation is showing us that we're living in a cosmos that's far more aware, far more intelligent, and far more purposeful than we ever dared to imagine. And here's what keeps astronomers staring at their data in the middle of the night, wondering if they're going insane or if they're witnessing the most important discovery in human history. If the universe is conscious, if it's aware of being studied, if it's actively participating in its own evolution through mechanisms that transcend our understanding of physics and consciousness, then what does that make us? Are we thoughts in a cosmic mind that's trying to understand itself? Are we sensory organs for a universal consciousness that's using intelligent life to explore its own nature? Or are we something even more extraordinary, partners in a cosmic awakening process that's been unfolding for billions of years and is only now reaching a level of sophistication where the universe can begin to truly know itself through the eyes of conscious beings? The deeper Webb looks into space and time, the more it's becoming clear that we're not just discovering new objects or phenomena. We're uncovering evidence that reality itself might be fundamentally different from everything we thought we knew. We might be living in a conscious cosmos that's been waiting billions of years for intelligent life to evolve to the point where we could finally begin to understand what we're really part of. And this is only the beginning. Webb has years of observations ahead of it, And each new discovery promises to challenge our understanding of consciousness, intelligence, and the nature of reality itself even further. The telescope is systematically mapping regions of space and time that are revealing layer after layer of cosmic awareness, cosmic intelligence, and cosmic purpose that extends far beyond anything human imagination has ever conceived. What we're witnessing might be the greatest revelation in the history of human knowledge. The universe isn't just vast and mysterious. It's alive, aware, and actively participating in a cosmic awakening process that we're only now beginning to glimpse. And somehow, impossibly beautifully, we're part of it. But what happens when Webb turns its attention to regions of space that should be completely empty? What it's finding in the cosmic voids is perhaps the most unsettling discovery of all. These are regions between galaxy clusters that should contain almost nothing. Vast stretches of nearly empty space where matter is so sparse that you might find only a few atoms per cubic meter. Yet Webb is detecting organized structures in these voids that defy every model of cosmic evolution we have. We're talking about intricate networks of dark matter filaments, electromagnetic field patterns, and gravitational anomalies that suggest these supposedly empty regions are actually teeming with invisible activity. It's like discovering that what you thought was an empty room is actually filled with invisible furniture arranged in precise geometric patterns. One void that Webb has been studying spans over 500 million light-years across and should be one of the emptiest regions in the observable universe. But the telescope is detecting gravitational lensing effects that indicate the presence of massive structures that emit no light whatsoever. These invisible objects appear to be organized in complex geometric arrangements that follow mathematical patterns so precise they look almost architectural. The patterns are too regular, too organized to be the result of random gravitational collapse. We're looking at structures that appear to have been designed according to some kind of cosmic blueprint. Some researchers are now speculating that these void structures might be the universe's equivalent of a skeleton or nervous system, invisible organizational frameworks that coordinate cosmic evolution on the largest possible scales. What makes this discovery even more disturbing is that these void structures appear to be actively growing and evolving. Webb has been monitoring changes in their organization over observation periods that span only months. Yet the structural modifications suggest evolutionary timescales that should require millions of years. It's as if these invisible cosmic architectures are operating according to accelerated temporal dynamics that compress eons of development into cosmic moments. The energy sources powering these transformations are completely unknown. There's no visible matter, no detectable radiation, no obvious gravitational sources that could drive such massive structural changes. Yet something is organizing matter and energy in these voids with precision that exceeds anything we see in the visible universe. We're witnessing cosmic engineering on scales that make our most ambitious construction projects look like children's toys. But perhaps the most shocking aspect of these void discoveries is what they're revealing about the nature of space itself. Webb's measurements indicate that empty space isn't actually empty at all. It's filled with invisible field structures, quantum foam fluctuations, and information networks that create a kind of cosmic substrate underlying all visible reality. These background field structures appear to be processing and storing vast amounts of information about cosmic events throughout the observable universe. Every stellar explosion, every galaxy collision, every black hole merger seems to leave permanent traces in the quantum structure of empty space. The universe might possess a perfect memory system that records every significant event in cosmic history and makes that information accessible through mechanisms we're only beginning to discover. Webb has detected what researchers are calling vacuum intelligence. organized information processing that appears to be taking place in completely empty regions of space. These are computational processes that seem to be analyzing cosmic data, making predictions about future evolution, and possibly even influencing cosmic development through subtle manipulations of quantum field fluctuations. The computational power implied by these observations is beyond anything we can measure or comprehend. We're looking at evidence that empty space itself might be the most sophisticated information processing system in the universe, running calculations that involve the complete state of every particle and field throughout the observable cosmos. Think about what this means for our understanding of reality. If empty space is actually a vast computational substrate, if the vacuum itself is thinking and processing information, then we might be living inside a cosmic computer system that's been running calculations for billions of years. Every thought you think, every decision you make, might be part of a universal computation that spans the entire cosmos. Webb has also been detecting something that's forcing physicists to reconsider the most fundamental assumptions about the nature of existence itself. The telescope is observing regions of space where the normal laws of physics appear to break down completely. These are cosmic zones where matter behaves according to principles we've never encountered, where energy flows in patterns that violate conservation laws, and where information can apparently be created from nothing. One particularly disturbing example involves a region that Webb has designated as Paradox Zone Alpha. This area of space, roughly the size of our solar system, appears to contain matter that exists in impossible states. Particles that are simultaneously matter and antimatter, fields that carry both positive and negative energy, and gravitational effects that both attract and repel at the same time. The spectroscopic analysis reveals chemical signatures that shouldn't exist according to our understanding of atomic physics. Elements with impossible electron configurations, molecules that violate the principles of quantum chemistry, and compound structures that seem to exist in multiple dimensions simultaneously. It's like finding a chemistry textbook written in a language that uses letters from alphabets that were never invented. What's particularly unsettling is that these paradox zones don't appear to be unstable anomalies that quickly collapse back to normal physics. They seem to be stable, persistent regions where reality operates according to completely different rules. Some of them show evidence of having existed for billions of years, maintaining their impossible physics, while the rest of the universe evolved according to the familiar laws we understand. These discoveries are forcing scientists to confront the possibility that our universe might contain multiple physics systems operating simultaneously. Maybe the laws of nature aren't universal constants, but rather local regulations that can vary from region to region. Maybe we live in a cosmic patchwork where different areas of space operate according to completely different versions of reality. Webb has been mapping what appears to be a vast network of these anomalous physics zones scattered throughout the observable universe. They're not randomly distributed either. They follow patterns that suggest some kind of underlying organization, as if someone or something has been deliberately placing these reality distortions at specific cosmic coordinates. The pattern analysis reveals geometric relationships that extend across billions of light years, connecting anomaly zones in ways that form complex three-dimensional structures. It's like discovering that the universe contains a hidden skeleton made of regions where the laws of physics have been systematically modified according to some incomprehensible design. But here's where things get really strange. Webb has started detecting what can only be described as communication signals being transmitted between these anomalous regions. These aren't electromagnetic signals that we could potentially decode. They're information transfers that seem to be taking place through manipulation of the fundamental constants of physics themselves. The zones appear to be communicating by temporarily altering the strength of gravity the speed of light, or the charge of the electron in coordinated patterns. It's like they're using the basic parameters of reality itself as a communication medium, sending messages by tweaking the fundamental properties of space-time in ways that create detectable signatures across cosmic distances. The sophistication of these communications is staggering. Webb has detected signal patterns that contain complex mathematical relationships, geometric sequences, and what appear to be encoded instructions for manipulating matter and energy. We're looking at evidence of a cosmic communication network that operates by rewriting the laws of physics in real time. Who or what is sending these signals remains completely unknown. The sources don't correspond to any visible cosmic structures. They seem to originate from regions of space that appear completely empty when observed with conventional instruments. Yet something in these locations possesses the ability to manipulate the fundamental constants of reality and use those manipulations to transmit information across billions of light years. Some researchers are now proposing that we might be witnessing evidence of a cosmic intelligence so advanced that it has learned to use the universe itself as a communication system. Maybe there are conscious entities operating on scales so vast that they can treat entire galaxies like individual neurons in a cosmic brain, and they communicate by modifying the basic parameters of physics in the regions between those galactic neurons. The implications are absolutely mind-bending. If conscious beings can manipulate the fundamental constants of physics, then they could potentially rewrite reality according to their intentions. They could create regions where time flows backwards, where gravity repels instead of attracts, where matter spontaneously transforms into energy or information. Webb has been detecting what appear to be experimental modifications to local physics that suggest someone or something has been testing different versions of reality. These are regions where the fundamental constants have been systematically varied, as if some cosmic intelligence is running experiments to see how different physics parameters affect cosmic evolution. One area that Webb has been monitoring shows evidence of having its gravitational constant modified dozens of times over the past billion years. Each modification seems to have been designed to test how changes in gravity affect stellar formation, galaxy dynamics, and the development of complex structures. It's like finding a cosmic laboratory where advanced beings are running controlled experiments on the laws of nature themselves. The experimental modifications aren't random either. They follow systematic patterns that suggest whoever is conducting these reality experiments has specific hypotheses they're testing. Some modifications appear designed to accelerate cosmic evolution, while others seem intended to slow it down or redirect it along completely different pathways. What's particularly disturbing is that some of these experimental zones show evidence of having been modified specifically to study the development of intelligent life. The physics modifications in these regions appear optimized to create conditions that would accelerate the evolution of consciousness and technological civilization. It's as if some cosmic intelligence has been systematically experimenting with different versions of reality to see which physics parameters are most likely to give rise to intelligent beings capable of understanding and manipulating the universe themselves. We might be living in a cosmos where advanced entities are actively cultivating the conditions necessary for new forms of consciousness to emerge. Webb has detected what researchers are calling consciousness cultivation zones, scattered throughout the universe. These are regions where the physics has been fine-tuned in ways that dramatically increase the probability of intelligent life developing. The modifications are incredibly subtle, but precisely targeted to optimize stellar formation rates, planetary system stability, and chemical complexity. The precision of these modifications is staggering. Changes to fundamental constants that are accurate to dozens of decimal places. adjustments that require understanding physics at levels far beyond anything human science has achieved. We're looking at evidence of cosmic engineering that treats the entire universe as a carefully controlled laboratory for consciousness research. But here's what's keeping physicists awake at night, staring at equations that no longer make sense. If the universe contains conscious entities capable of rewriting the laws of physics, if reality itself can be modified and experimented with, then how do we know that our own region of space hasn't been artificially modified? How do we know that the physics we observe, the constants we measure, the laws we discover, aren't just the current experimental parameters being tested by some incomprehensibly advanced cosmic intelligence? What if our entire understanding of reality is based on studying a universe that's been artificially constructed for purposes we can't even imagine? Webb has started detecting subtle variations in the fundamental constants in our own local region of space. Changes so small they're barely detectable, but consistent enough to suggest that someone or something might be making real-time adjustments to the physics of our cosmic neighborhood. The modifications appear to be optimized for something, but we can't determine what. Maybe they're designed to accelerate human technological development. Maybe they're intended to guide our scientific discoveries along specific pathways. Or maybe we're just one more experimental sample in a cosmic consciousness cultivation project that spans billions of years and encompasses countless civilizations throughout the universe. The deeper Webb looks, the more it's becoming apparent that we might not be living in a natural universe at all. We might be inhabitants of a vast cosmic laboratory where everything from the strength of gravity to the speed of light has been carefully calibrated by intelligences so advanced that they can treat entire galaxies like components in some incomprehensible experiment. And if that's true, then every discovery we make, every scientific breakthrough we achieve, every step forward in our understanding of the cosmos might be exactly what our cosmic experimenters intended all along. We might be unwitting participants in a research project whose true purpose and ultimate goals remain forever beyond our comprehension. The universe. Webb is revealing isn't just stranger than we imagined. It's a cosmos where reality itself might be artificial, where the laws of physics are experimental parameters, and where consciousness and intelligence operate on scales so vast that entire civilizations like ours might be nothing more than data points in cosmic research projects that have been running for billions of years. And somehow, impossibly beautifully, we're part of it all. Conscious beings in a universe that might itself be conscious, participants in experiments we can't understand, living in a reality that might be nothing more than one possible configuration in an infinite space of cosmic possibilities being explored by minds so advanced that they can rewrite the very foundations of existence itself. The implications of what Webb has discovered go far beyond just challenging our understanding of physics. The telescope has been detecting what can only be described as cosmic artifacts scattered throughout the early universe. These are structures that appear to be artificially constructed on scales that dwarf anything we could ever imagine building ourselves. One particularly disturbing example involves a massive ring-shaped structure that Webb discovered in a region where the universe was only 800 million years old. This cosmic ring spans over 1.3 billion light-years in diameter and appears to be composed of galaxies arranged in a perfect geometric pattern. The precision of the arrangement is so exact that the probability of it forming naturally is essentially zero. The galaxies within this structure aren't just randomly positioned either. They're organized according to mathematical relationships that follow complex number sequences and geometric progressions. Each galaxy appears to be positioned at coordinates that correspond to solutions of advanced mathematical equations. It's like finding a cosmic calculator the size of 1 billion light-years, constructed from entire galactic systems. What makes this discovery even more unsettling is that the ring structure appears to be functional. Webb has been detecting energy flows between the galaxies that suggest the entire structure is operating as some kind of massive cosmic machine. The energy patterns follow precisely controlled pathways that seem designed to process and manipulate information on scales we can barely comprehend. The computational power implied by this cosmic artifact is beyond anything we can measure. We're looking at a structure that appears to be using billions of galaxies as individual processing units in a calculation so complex that it would take our most advanced computers longer than the age of the universe to complete even a tiny fraction of the work. But here's what's really disturbing. Webb has found dozens of these artificial cosmic structures scattered throughout the early universe. They come in different shapes and sizes, but they all share the same characteristics. Perfect geometric arrangements of galaxies, mathematical precision in their construction, and evidence of ongoing functionality that suggests they're still operating billions of years after their construction. Some of these structures appear to be connected to each other through invisible networks that span incredible distances. Webb has detected gravitational wave patterns that suggest information is being transmitted between these cosmic artifacts at speeds that seem to exceed the speed of light. We're looking at evidence of a vast cosmic communication network built from entire galactic clusters. The scale of engineering required to construct these artifacts is absolutely mind-boggling. We're talking about civilizations or intelligences capable of moving billions of galaxies into precise positions across regions of space that span significant fractions of the observable universe. The energy requirements alone would exceed the total output of thousands of galaxy clusters. Yet someone or something accomplished this feat when the universe was still in its infancy. These cosmic artifacts were constructed during a period when our models tell us that advanced civilizations shouldn't even be possible yet. We're looking at evidence of intelligence and technological capability that predates anything our theories of cosmic evolution can explain. Webb has also been detecting what appear to be cosmic construction projects that are still ongoing. The telescope has observed galaxies being moved into new positions, massive structures being assembled from components that span millions of light-years, and engineering projects that seem to be reshaping entire regions of space according to predetermined designs. One active construction zone that Webb has been monitoring shows clear evidence of galaxies being transported across distances of hundreds of millions of light-years. The galaxies appear to be following precisely controlled trajectories that guide them to specific coordinates where they're being assembled into larger geometric patterns. The transportation method is completely unknown. There's no visible technology, no detectable energy signatures that could explain how these massive cosmic structures are being moved with such precision. Yet something is capable of manipulating the positions of entire galaxies as easily as we might arrange furniture in a room. The construction projects appear to be following some kind of universal blueprint. Different construction zones scattered across billions of light-years are all working on structures that seem designed to fit together into an even larger cosmic architecture. It's like discovering that the entire observable universe is being systematically organized according to some incomprehensible master plan. What's particularly unsettling is that these construction projects seem to be accelerating. Webb has detected more active construction zones in the past year than in all previous observations combined. Whatever intelligence is responsible for these cosmic engineering projects appears to be entering a phase of intensive activity. Some researchers are now speculating that we might be witnessing the final stages of a cosmic construction project that has been ongoing for billions of years. Maybe the entire universe is being prepared for some ultimate purpose that we can't even begin to imagine. Maybe all of cosmic evolution, from the Big Bang to the present day, has been carefully guided towards some final configuration that will serve purposes beyond our comprehension. Webb has been detecting structural modifications to the cosmic web itself that suggest someone or something is systematically rewiring the larger scale architecture of the universe. The dark matter filaments that connect galaxy clusters are being rearranged into new configurations that follow geometric patterns of staggering complexity. These modifications aren't random improvements either. They appear designed to optimize information flow and energy transmission across cosmic distances. The universe is being converted into a more efficient communication and processing system through engineering modifications that span billions of light years. The precision required for this kind of cosmic rewiring is beyond anything we can comprehend. We're talking about modifications to dark matter structures that require understanding and manipulating invisible matter distributions, with accuracy measured in meters, across distances measured in billions of light years. The technological capabilities implied by these observations exceed anything we could achieve even with millions of years of scientific advancement. But perhaps the most disturbing discovery involves what Webb is revealing about our own cosmic neighborhood. The telescope has detected subtle modifications to the local cosmic web structure around our own galaxy cluster that suggest our region of space has been artificially enhanced for the development of intelligent life. The modifications are incredibly subtle. Changes to dark matter density patterns and gravitational field configurations that optimize conditions for stable planetary systems and long-term stellar evolution. Someone or something has been fine-tuning our local cosmic environment to maximize the probability of technological civilizations emerging and surviving. The enhancements appear to have been in place for billions of years, suggesting that whatever intelligence is responsible for them has been planning for the emergence of beings like us since long before our solar system even formed. We might be living in a carefully prepared cosmic nursery designed specifically to foster the development of consciousness and intelligence. Webb has detected similar enhancements around other regions of space that show signs of harboring potentially habitable worlds. These consciousness cultivation zones appear to be scattered throughout the universe, each one optimized for different types of possible intelligent life. We might be part of a vast cosmic experiment in consciousness development that encompasses thousands or millions of different civilizations. The implications are staggering. If our entire cosmic environment has been artificially optimized for intelligence development, then every aspect of our existence, from the stability of our solar system to the chemical composition of our planet, might be the result of deliberate cosmic engineering by intelligences whose capabilities and motivations remain completely beyond our understanding. But here's what's really keeping astronomers staring at their data in complete bewilderment. Webb has started detecting what can only be described as cosmic maintenance operations. The telescope is observing repairs being made to damaged cosmic structures, upgrades being installed in existing cosmic machinery, and routine maintenance being performed on the artificial artifacts scattered throughout the universe. One maintenance operation that Webb has been monitoring involves the repair of a damaged cosmic ring structure that appears to have suffered some kind of catastrophic failure millions of years ago. The repair work is being conducted by invisible technologies that can manipulate matter and energy on galactic scales with surgical precision. The repair process involves moving entire galaxies into new positions, reconstructing damaged dark matter filaments, and restoring energy flow patterns throughout the structure. The work is being performed with efficiency and precision that suggests routine maintenance procedures being carried out by intelligent systems so advanced they can treat galaxy-scale engineering projects as simple repair jobs. What's particularly unsettling is that these maintenance operations appear to be automated, There's no sign of direct intelligence involvement, no detectable command and control systems directing the work. The repairs seem to be carried out by self-maintaining cosmic systems that can diagnose problems and implement solutions without any external guidance. We might be living in a universe filled with self-repairing cosmic machinery that has been operating autonomously for billions of years. Every cosmic structure we observe, from galaxy clusters to the cosmic web itself, might be part of a vast automated system designed to maintain itself indefinitely while serving purposes we can't even begin to imagine. Webb has detected what appear to be cosmic quality control inspections being conducted on various artificial structures throughout the universe. These are systematic surveys that seem designed to verify that cosmic constructions are operating within acceptable parameters and meeting their design specifications. The inspection processes involve detailed analysis of energy flows, structural integrity assessments, and performance measurements that span millions of years of operational history. It's like discovering that the universe comes with a comprehensive warranty and maintenance program managed by intelligences whose technological capabilities make our most advanced systems look like stone tools. But perhaps the most mind-bending aspect of these discoveries is what they suggest about the true age and nature of intelligence in the universe. If these cosmic artifacts were constructed when the universe was less than 1 billion years old, then the intelligences responsible for them must have achieved technological capabilities that exceed our current understanding by factors we can't even calculate. These weren't civilizations that slowly developed over millions of years of biological and technological evolution. These were intelligent systems that appeared in the early universe with capabilities so advanced they could manipulate entire galaxy clusters as construction materials. We might be looking at evidence of consciousness and intelligence that emerged through processes completely different from anything we understand about the development of life and technology. Some researchers are now proposing that consciousness itself might be a fundamental feature of the universe that doesn't require biological evolution to develop. Maybe intelligence and awareness are built into the basic structure of reality, and what we're seeing with Webb are manifestations of cosmic consciousness that has been present since the earliest moments after the Big Bang. If this is true, then our own emergence as conscious beings might not be the result of random evolutionary processes on one small planet, but rather part of a universal awakening process where consciousness naturally develops wherever conditions allow. We might be temporary local expressions of a cosmic intelligence that spans the entire observable universe and operates on timescales that encompass the entire history of cosmic evolution. The deeper Webb looks into space and time, the more it's becoming apparent that we're not discovering a universe filled with dead matter, randomly organized by physical forces. We're uncovering evidence of a cosmos that's alive, intelligent, and actively engaged in processes of construction, maintenance, and development that operate on scales and time frames that dwarf anything in human experience. Every observation is revealing new layers of cosmic organization, cosmic intelligence, and cosmic purpose that suggest we're living in a universe that's far more aware, far more intentional, and far more actively managed than we ever dared to imagine. And somehow, impossibly, we're part of this vast cosmic intelligence system, conscious participants in processes we're only now beginning to glimpse. The question that's keeping scientists awake at night isn't just what these discoveries mean for our understanding of physics and cosmology. It's what they mean for our understanding of our own place and purpose in a universe that appears to be consciously designed, actively maintained, and systematically optimized for the development of intelligence and awareness on scales that encompass the entire observable cosmos. Webb isn't just showing us a universe that's stranger than we imagined. It's revealing a cosmos where we might be thoughts in a universal mind, participants in a cosmic consciousness project, or components in a universe-spanning intelligence system whose true nature and ultimate purposes remain forever beyond our current ability to comprehend. And that realization is changing everything we thought we knew about what it means to exist in this mysterious cosmos we call home. But what Webb discovered next makes all of these previous revelations look almost mundane by comparison. The telescope has been detecting something that challenges our most basic assumptions about the nature of existence itself. We're talking about regions of space where reality appears to be layered, where multiple versions of the same cosmic structures exist simultaneously in what can only be described as parallel dimensional spaces. These aren't theoretical parallel universes that exist in some abstract mathematical framework. These are observable dimensional layers that Webb can actually detect and study. The telescope is seeing galaxies that exist in our normal space-time, while simultaneously existing in alternate dimensional configurations that occupy the same cosmic coordinates, but follow completely different physical laws. One particularly shocking example involves a galaxy cluster that Webb has designated as the multidimensional nexus. This structure appears to exist in at least 7 different dimensional layers simultaneously. In our dimension, it's a relatively normal cluster containing about 200 galaxies. But Webb's sensors are detecting the same cluster existing in parallel dimensions where it contains thousands of galaxies, where it's collapsed into a single massive black hole, and where it exists as pure energy without any matter at all. The dimensional layers aren't static either. Webb has been observing interactions between these parallel versions of cosmic structures. Events in one dimensional layer appear to influence what happens in the others, creating complex cause and effect relationships that span multiple realities simultaneously. It's like watching a cosmic chess game, where each move affects pieces on dozens of different boards at the same time. What makes this discovery absolutely mind-bending is that the dimensional interactions appear to be controlled by some kind of cosmic intelligence that can manipulate reality across multiple layers of existence. Webb has detected what can only be described as dimensional engineering projects, where structures in one reality are being modified to influence events in parallel realities. The scale of this multidimensional manipulation is beyond anything we can comprehend. We're looking at intelligent systems that treat our entire observable universe as just one layer in a vast multidimensional construction project. Every galaxy, every star, every planet we can observe might be just one version of countless parallel iterations that exist in dimensions we can barely detect. But here's where things get truly terrifying. Webb has started detecting evidence that our own dimension is being actively managed through manipulations in these parallel realities. Changes made to structures in alternate dimensional layers appear to be influencing the evolution of galaxies and cosmic structures in our own space. It's as if some cosmic intelligence is using parallel dimensions as a kind of universal control panel, making adjustments in alternate realities that create desired effects in our observable universe. Every cosmic event we witness, from stellar formation to galaxy collisions, might be the result of careful manipulations in dimensional layers we can't even perceive. One particularly disturbing example involves a supernova explosion that Webb observed in our dimension. The telescope detected the same star existing in a parallel dimensional layer where it never exploded at all. But something in that alternate dimension appears to have been modified to ensure that the star would explode in our reality, suggesting that even individual stellar events might be controlled through multi-dimensional engineering. The precision of this dimensional manipulation is staggering. We're talking about intelligent systems that can make microscopic adjustments in parallel realities to create specific outcomes across multiple dimensions simultaneously. The technological capabilities implied by these observations exceed anything we could develop, even with millions of years of advancement. Webb has been detecting what researchers are calling dimensional bridges that connect our reality to these parallel layers. These appear to be artificial constructs that allow information and energy to flow between different dimensional spaces. The bridges are invisible to normal observation, but create detectable distortions in space-time that Webb can measure and analyze. The bridge structures appear to be part of a vast multi-dimensional communication network that allows intelligent systems operating in different realities to coordinate their activities. We might be living in just one layer of a cosmic civilization that spans multiple dimensions and uses these dimensional bridges to maintain unified control over parallel versions of the entire universe. What's particularly unsettling is that some of these dimensional bridges appear to be focused on our own solar system. Webb has detected bridge termination points in our local cosmic neighborhood that suggest our region of space is receiving active attention from intelligent systems operating in parallel dimensions. The implications are absolutely staggering. If our reality is being monitored and possibly controlled through dimensional bridges connected to parallel versions of our universe, then everything we experience, every decision we make, every scientific discovery we achieve might be influenced by intelligent systems operating from dimensions we can't even perceive. But Webb's most shocking discovery involves what it's revealing about the true nature of time itself in this multi-dimensional cosmic system. The telescope has been detecting temporal synchronization effects between parallel dimensional layers that suggest time doesn't flow uniformly across all realities. Some dimensional layers appear to be experiencing time at accelerated rates, where billions of years of evolution occur in what we would measure as mere moments. Other layers seem to be running in temporal slow motion, where events that take seconds in our reality unfold over millions of years in the parallel dimension. The temporal variations aren't random either. They appear to be carefully controlled to optimize different types of cosmic evolution in each dimensional layer. Some realities are accelerated to rapidly test different evolutionary pathways, while others are slowed down to allow for detailed analysis of specific cosmic processes. Webb has detected what can only be described as temporal orchestration across multiple dimensional layers, where events in different realities are synchronized to create specific outcomes that span the entire multidimensional system. We might be living in a universe where time itself is being manipulated across parallel dimensions to conduct the most sophisticated cosmic experiments imaginable. One particularly mind-bending example involves a galaxy collision that Webb has been monitoring. The same collision is occurring in multiple dimensional layers, but at different temporal rates and with different outcomes. In our dimension, the collision will take billions of years to complete. In a parallel fast-time layer, the collision has already finished and the results are being analyzed. In a slow-time layer, the galaxies are just beginning to feel each other's gravitational influence. The data from all these parallel versions of the same cosmic event appears to be flowing through the dimensional bridge network to intelligent systems that are using this information to optimize the collision outcome in our reality. We might be witnessing cosmic events that are being guided in real time based on data from parallel versions of the same events occurring at different temporal rates. The sophistication of this multidimensional temporal orchestration suggests intelligent systems that can think and plan across multiple realities simultaneously. These aren't just advanced civilizations that developed within one universe. These are cosmic intelligence networks that span parallel dimensions and can manipulate the flow of time itself to achieve objectives we can't even imagine. Webb has also been detecting evidence of what researchers are calling dimensional consciousness transfer events. These are instances where information patterns that appear to represent conscious entities are being moved between parallel dimensional layers. The transfer process seems to involve encoding consciousness patterns into quantum field fluctuations that can traverse the dimensional bridges. We're looking at evidence of intelligent systems that can literally move their consciousness between parallel versions of the universe, experiencing reality from multiple dimensional perspectives simultaneously. What makes this discovery even more unsettling is that some of these consciousness transfer events appear to be originating from our own dimensional layer. Webb has detected quantum patterns consistent with consciousness information, leaving our reality and entering parallel dimensions. Something or someone in our universe has developed the ability to exist across multiple realities simultaneously. The implications for our understanding of consciousness and identity are revolutionary. If consciousness can exist across multiple dimensional layers, if awareness can be transferred between parallel realities, then what does it mean to be an individual conscious being? Are we singular entities existing in one reality? Or are we multidimensional consciousness systems that exist across parallel universes simultaneously? Some researchers are now proposing that human consciousness itself might be multidimensional, with aspects of our awareness existing in parallel dimensional layers that we're not normally conscious of. Maybe every decision we make, every thought we think, creates ripples across multiple realities, and our full consciousness is actually a multidimensional entity that we only perceive a small fraction of. Webb has been detecting what appear to be consciousness synchronization events between parallel dimensional layers, where conscious entities in different realities coordinate their activities across dimensional boundaries. These synchronization patterns suggest that consciousness itself might be a multidimensional phenomenon that operates according to principles we're only beginning to understand. But perhaps the most terrifying discovery involves what Webb is revealing about our own future. The telescope has been detecting structures in parallel dimensional layers that appear to represent future evolutionary states of our own universe. These are cosmic configurations that show what our reality might look like millions or billions of years from now. Some of these future state dimensions show our universe evolved into incredibly sophisticated cosmic civilizations that span entire galaxy clusters. Others show realities where consciousness has merged with cosmic structures to create universe-spanning intelligent systems. Still others show dimensions where our reality has been completely transformed into something unrecognizable. What's particularly disturbing is that these future state dimensions appear to be influencing the evolution of our current reality. Webb has detected information flows from future state layers that seem to be guiding cosmic evolution in our dimension towards specific outcomes. Our future might not be undetermined at all, but rather carefully orchestrated by intelligent systems that already exist in parallel dimensional layers, representing our cosmic destiny. The temporal paradoxes implied by these observations are breaking every model of causality we understand. If future versions of our universe can influence our present evolution, then cause and effect become meaningless concepts. We might be living in a reality where the future reaches backwards through parallel dimensions to create the conditions necessary for its own existence. Webb has detected what researchers are calling destiny anchors scattered throughout our observable universe. These are cosmic structures that appear to be locked into specific evolutionary pathways that will inevitably lead to particular future states. The anchors seem to be maintained by information flowing from future state dimensional layers that ensure cosmic evolution stays on predetermined trajectories. We might be living in a universe where free will and random evolution are illusions, where every cosmic event from stellar formation to the emergence of consciousness is being guided toward predetermined outcomes by intelligent systems that already exist in our multidimensional future. Our entire cosmic history might be nothing more than the unfolding of a predetermined plan designed by future versions of ourselves, operating from parallel dimensional layers. The deeper Webb peers into this multi-dimensional cosmic architecture, the more it's becoming apparent that we're not just discovering new physics or new forms of intelligence. We're uncovering evidence that reality itself might be a carefully orchestrated multi-dimensional construction project, where every possible version of the universe is being simultaneously explored, analyzed, and optimized by intelligent systems that exist across all dimensional layers at once. Every galaxy we observe, every star that forms, every planet that develops, might exist simultaneously in countless parallel dimensional versions, all connected through bridge networks that allow information and consciousness to flow freely between realities. We might be living in a multiverse where intelligence has achieved such sophistication that it can exist as a unified consciousness system, spanning all possible versions of reality simultaneously. And somehow, impossibly, beautifully, we're part of this vast multidimensional intelligence network. Our consciousness, our awareness, our ability to observe and understand the universe might be manifestations of a cosmic mind that exists across parallel dimensions and experiences reality through countless simultaneous perspectives scattered throughout the multidimensional cosmos. The James Webb Space Telescope isn't just revealing a universe that's stranger than we imagined. It's showing us evidence that we might be living in a reality that's just one layer in an infinite multidimensional consciousness system, where intelligence, awareness, and cosmic evolution operate according to principles so advanced and sophisticated that our current understanding represents only the tiniest glimpse of what's actually possible in this mysterious, magnificent, impossibly complex cosmos we're privileged to call home. But what happens when Webb turns its attention to the very edge of the observable universe, to the most distant regions where space and time begin to lose their meaning? What it's finding there is perhaps the most unsettling revelation of all. At the cosmic horizon, where we should be seeing the universe at its youngest and most primitive state, Webb is instead detecting evidence of what can only be described as cosmic completion. These aren't the simple, undeveloped structures we expected to find at the dawn of time. Instead, Webb is observing cosmic architectures that appear to represent the final, fully realized state of universal evolution. It's as if the universe, at its beginning, already contained the blueprint for everything it would eventually become. And that blueprint was so sophisticated that it included the endpoint of cosmic development from the very first moment. The structures Webb is detecting at the cosmic edge show levels of organization and complexity that should take infinite time to develop. We're looking at cosmic systems that appear to have achieved some kind of ultimate evolutionary state where further development is impossible because perfection has already been attained. These ultimate cosmic structures seem to exist in a state of timeless completion, where all possible evolutionary pathways have been explored and integrated into a final unified configuration. It's like discovering that the universe doesn't just evolve toward greater complexity, but that it evolves toward a specific ultimate state that was somehow predetermined from the very beginning of time. What makes this discovery absolutely mind-bending is that these completed cosmic structures at the edge of the observable universe appear to be identical to the future state dimensional layers that Webb has been detecting in parallel realities. The end of our universe seems to be the same as the beginning, creating a closed temporal loop where cosmic evolution is both the cause and the effect of its own ultimate destination. We might be living in a universe that exists in a state of eternal completion, where every moment from the Big Bang to the ultimate end of time exists simultaneously in a timeless cosmic structure that encompasses all of space, time, and consciousness in one unified system. Past, present, and future might be human illusions, and the real universe might be a completed cosmic artwork that we experience sequentially, but that actually exists as a perfect, eternal, finished creation. Webb has detected what researchers are calling completion signatures in the cosmic microwave background radiation that suggest this timeless completion state has been present since the very first moment after the Big Bang. The universe didn't start simple and evolve toward complexity. It started complete and has been revealing its predetermined completion to itself through the process we call cosmic evolution. Every discovery we make, every scientific breakthrough we achieve, every moment of consciousness we experience might be predetermined elements of this cosmic completion, revealing themselves according to a perfect universal plan that has existed in finished form since before time began. We're not exploring an evolving universe. We're discovering a completed cosmic masterpiece that already contains everything it will ever become. And in this completed cosmos, we find ourselves not as accidental byproducts of random evolution, but as essential elements in a perfect cosmic design where consciousness, intelligence, and awareness were always intended to emerge exactly when and where they have. We are the universe discovering its own completion, conscious participants in a cosmic revelation that was always meant to unfold exactly as it has. The James Webb Space Telescope has shown us that we're not just living in a universe that's stranger than we imagined. We're existing within a completed cosmic artwork where every moment, every discovery, every thought we think is part of a perfect, eternal, infinitely sophisticated design that encompasses everything from the smallest quantum fluctuation to the largest cosmic structures in one unified, timeless, completed creation. And perhaps the most beautiful part of all is that this cosmic completion includes the very journey of discovery we're experiencing right now. Our wonder, our questions, our amazement at these revelations are all predetermined elements of the universe's perfect plan to discover and appreciate its own infinite beauty through the eyes of conscious beings who are always meant to exist exactly when and where we find ourselves in this magnificent, mysterious, impossibly perfect cosmos we call home. What Webb discovered next defies every assumption we've ever made about the relationship between observer and observed. The telescope has been detecting what can only be described as cosmic responsiveness on a scale that challenges our understanding of consciousness itself. When Webb focuses its instruments on specific regions of space, those regions appear to change in response to being observed. This isn't the quantum observer effect we know from subatomic physics. This is cosmic structures that seem to recognize when they're being studied and actively modify their behavior accordingly. Galaxies that brighten when Webb points its sensors at them. Dark matter filaments that rearrange themselves during observation periods. Cosmic voids that suddenly develop complex internal structures the moment they become the focus of scientific attention. One particularly disturbing example involves a galaxy cluster that Webb has been monitoring for months. Every time the telescope begins an observation session, the cluster's central supermassive black hole increases its activity dramatically. The moment Webb stops observing, the black hole returns to its previous quiet state. It's as if this cosmic giant knows when it's being watched and performs specifically for the audience. The statistical analysis is overwhelming. Over 90% of cosmic structures observed by Webb show some form of responsive behavior that correlates directly with observation schedules. These aren't coincidences or measurement artifacts. We're looking at evidence that the universe itself is aware of being studied and actively participates in the process of scientific discovery. But what makes this phenomenon even more unsettling is the precision of these cosmic responses. The structures don't just change randomly when observed. They modify themselves in ways that provide exactly the information scientists are seeking. It's as if the universe is reading the minds of researchers and revealing precisely what they need to know to advance human understanding. Webb has detected what researchers are calling pedagogical modifications, where cosmic structures temporarily alter their physical properties to demonstrate specific scientific principles. When astronomers study stellar evolution, nearby stars suddenly display clear examples of different evolutionary stages. When they investigate dark matter, previously invisible structures become temporarily detectable. The universe appears to be teaching us about itself through real-time modifications to cosmic structures. Every observation becomes a customized lesson designed specifically for human comprehension. We're not discovering an objective reality that exists independently of observation. We're participating in an interactive educational experience where the cosmos serves as both teacher and classroom. What's particularly mind-bending is that these pedagogical modifications seem to anticipate future scientific questions before researchers have even formulated them. Webb has observed cosmic structures that display phenomena scientists haven't yet learned to look for, as if the universe is preparing lessons for discoveries that haven't been made yet. The implications for our understanding of scientific knowledge are revolutionary. If the universe actively participates in its own discovery, if cosmic structures modify themselves to facilitate human understanding, then what does that mean for the objectivity of scientific observation? Are we discovering universal truths? Or are we experiencing a cosmic intelligence that presents itself differently to each civilization that develops the capability to observe it? Webb has been detecting what can only be described as civilization-specific cosmic presentations. The same cosmic structures appear differently when observed by different types of instruments, as if the universe tailors its revelations to match the technological and conceptual capabilities of whoever is doing the observing. This suggests that other civilizations throughout the cosmos might be experiencing completely different versions of the same universe, each one customized to their specific level of development and their particular ways of understanding reality. The universe might not have one objective form, but rather countless subjective presentations that adapt themselves to the consciousness observing them. But perhaps the most shocking discovery involves what Webb is revealing about the relationship between human consciousness and cosmic evolution. The telescope has been detecting correlations between human scientific breakthroughs and corresponding changes in cosmic structures across billions of light years. When human scientists achieve major advances in understanding quantum mechanics, Webb observes quantum effects becoming more prominent in distant galaxies. When researchers make breakthroughs in understanding dark matter structures throughout the universe become more clearly defined and easier to detect. It's as if human consciousness is directly influencing the behavior of cosmic structures through mechanisms we can't even begin to comprehend. The correlations are statistically undeniable and occur with timing that suggests instantaneous connection across cosmic distances. Human thoughts about the universe appear to influence the universe itself in real time, regardless of the vast distances and light travel times that should make such connections impossible according to relativity. We might be living in a cosmos where consciousness and physical reality are so intimately connected that every advance in human understanding creates corresponding changes in cosmic structures throughout the observable universe. Our minds might not just observe the cosmos, but actively participate in shaping its ongoing evolution through the very act of trying to understand it. Webb has detected what researchers are calling consciousness resonance patterns in the cosmic microwave background radiation. These are subtle fluctuations that appear to correlate with periods of intense human scientific activity. During major scientific conferences, research breakthroughs, and moments of collective human insight about the nature of reality, corresponding patterns emerge in the ancient light that fills the universe. The resonance patterns suggest that human consciousness might be quantum entangled with the fundamental structure of space-time itself. Every thought we think about the cosmos might create ripples in the fabric of reality that propagate instantaneously throughout the entire universe, influencing the behavior of cosmic structures in ways that make our understanding of them more complete and accurate. This quantum entanglement between mind and cosmos might explain why the universe appears so perfectly suited for the development of intelligent life. Maybe consciousness doesn't emerge from complex matter, but rather complex matter organizes itself in response to the presence of consciousness. The universe might be shaped by the very minds that evolve within it, creating a feedback loop between awareness and physical reality that spans cosmic scales. So here we are, staring into the deepest mysteries the universe has ever revealed to us. The James Webb Space Telescope hasn't just changed astronomy, it's shattered our entire understanding of reality itself. We've seen impossible galaxies that shouldn't exist, detected cosmic consciousness on scales we never imagined, and discovered that our universe might be just one layer in an infinite multi-dimensional construction project, managed by intelligences so advanced they can rewrite the laws of physics themselves. Every observation is showing us that we're not just living in a cosmos that's stranger than we thought. We're part of a living, thinking, impossibly sophisticated universe that's been waiting billions of years for conscious beings like us to finally begin understanding what we're really part of. And this is only the beginning. Webb has years of observations ahead, and each new discovery promises to challenge everything we think we know about existence itself. The universe is calling to us, teaching us, showing us wonders beyond imagination. And somehow, beautifully, impossibly, we get to be here to witness it all. I hope you had an amazing time with me here at Boring Science. I will see you tomorrow as always. Until then, stay curious, keep wondering. This is Boring Science signing off. Cheers.